Hello YouTube. Well, if you remember last winter that I went through a big hassle with my little refrigerator and the fact that it had died after 2 years, this replacement, 5 months later, this one's dying. I would not recommend ever getting one of these little Domestics anymore. I was happy with the other one till it died, but 5 months, that's ridiculous. Anyway, this pushes up my plans. I was going to next fall buy a dual compartment one where the refrigerator and freezer, or freezer, refrigerator. But I decided to push those plans up and bite the bullet and get it now. What? The new one is going to go in this area. It's the dimensions on it are 34 inches long, 21 inches wide, and 23 inches high. So I'm going to take this out. It's on rollers, or on drawer slides. So I'm going to pull that out. The new one's going to come up to about here. So I'll shorten this, and I'm going to make it so that there's a shelf across, a compartment for my laundry basket, and a drawer to have the refrigerator on where I can pull it out, get to anything, and put it back. So if you've been following me and Jax Austin, he did something similar. I've learned from his mistakes. Mine's not going to have a big front on it. It'll have room for the air to flow around, and so let's get to it. So this is how I start any building project, is just a quick sketch up with some dimensions, and I play with it. You can see where I've crossed out dimensions as I brainstorm this. The fridge is going to go here. I'm making it 37.5, which will give, remember the fridge is 34 inches long, but I got drawer slides on either end, and so the size of the fridge, I wanted a little bit more room around it, and so I've decided on 5-inch sides of the drawer, or the base. So I did all that, got the idea of what I needed, the different sizes. Then I did a cut plan, which is a sheet of plywood. I'm showing a rip it in 24, so rip it in half, and then cut this piece 57 inches. Up here, the 37.5 comes out of this, ripped into smaller pieces. So let's step outside and I'll show you where I am on that. Well, I got the guys at Home Depot to do a lot of the cutting up for me. I'm using sanded plywood, so it's about $10 cheaper than buying oak, and still looks just as nice, and most of this is going to be hidden away anyway. So this is out of one sheet of plywood. I got the drawer sides, they're 5 inches, there's 4 of them. That's a scrap piece I can use. And one of these 2 long ones is the top, and the other one is going to be cut into pieces for the side and the middle piece. The other side is going to be attached to the bedroom, or my bed wall. I need one on that side because that's a cavity where a lot of wires run, and so I need to keep that in mind. And then the base is going to be cut out of this, or the base of the drawer. So nice is that the big box stores, Home Depot, Lowe's, they've got a cut center. They're willing to do a lot of the cutting for you, and there was a guy in line, so I didn't keep him going cutting up some of the other stuff. And the piece over here, this is just a piece of underlayment that I'm going to use for the back. I had him cut it in half because it's way bigger than I'm going to need, but it's easier to handle half sheets. I got the main parts cut out. These are the 2 uprights. This is the top. You'll notice that one of these is shorter than the other, and that I got a notch cut out. This is where it goes on the wall, and that wall is 2 1/4 inches thick. and this is going to hang in there 1 inch. So I made this shorter, or made that notched out for the wall, and the shorter piece to go in here. This is going to be hidden up in. It'll give a cleaner look to it. Now, putting all this together, the one tool that I found to be indispensable for doing cabinetry is this pocket hole jig. It's made by Craig, and the kit, though it's not cheap, but it's not that expensive. It comes with a bit. You can see there's a pilot hole and a flat bit here. This will, going through this, will make a hole at an angle like that. You can set this for the depth of the thickness of the plywood, and that way it'll come out right in the center. And use these special screws that have the big head on them like that to hold it in place. And these screws, it'll pull it in nice and tight, and they will be hidden. I'll do these on the inside. I'm also going to use the same jig to attach it to the floor and to this upper piece to the bedroom wall, or my bed wall. So if you crawl inside, you'll be able to see them, but the way I'm doing it, they'll be out of sight. So let me get to doing that. So now to give the edges a nice sanding to get rid of these little raised bits and spots like this. So I'm just using some what is it, 120, and I'll give that a nice sand, get the edges real nice, and we'll go from there. As you can see, drilled the pocket hole, drilled these things in an angle. You got a little pilot hole, guide that, and it's going to come right out in the center. Now I'm using Tight Bond wood glue. There's a couple other brands out there. This is the one I happen to have, and they all are pretty good. So now I'm going to glue this up onto here and get that all attached, and then move on to the centerpiece. And you can see it pulls it in nice and tight, squishes the glue out, and a little bit on this side, but this glue is water soluble when it's wet like this. Once it dries, this joint is going to be stronger than the wood that it's joining. So I'm going to get a damp cloth and wipe that excess off and move on to the next piece. One of the reasons I spent a whole day just brainstorming is, if you remember, the refrigerator is 34 inches long, and I've got the so the drawer, I'm making the base of it 35, which is that piece there. And then I'm putting these pieces around the edge to form the sides of the drawer. Those are each 3/4 of an inch. So 35 plus an inch and a half, two sides, is 36.5. The drawer slides are each a half an inch. So that's 37.5 inches from that to that. So I drew a line at 37.5, and a good habit to get into is I put an X on the side that I'm gluing. I'm going to glue the board on that side. Obviously, if I make the mistake and get confused or walk around the other side and I'm thinking that something's wrong, this will tell me I'm gluing it on the correct side. All right, there's the base to it. I'm going to now cut the back. I'll attach the back to it, and so it's for projects. It's for projects like this that I tapped into the air system, so I can use the air nailer to staple on the back. Sort of makes for an expensive air compressor, but I just need it for short jobs like that. It's not a problem. I'm putting the drawer, measuring it so that it fits inside here when it's upside down, and that way when I bring it up or install it, it'll fit down here in the bottom, because this is all nice and square. And we get that together, and I can't install it today because I was scavenging the drawer slides from the old refrigerator area, and I forgot that went back a little farther. So tomorrow morning I'll run out and get the proper size drawer slides, and we can finish this up. A few more things to do. I got the drawer slides, got it in, had to tweak it a little bit. I did some staining. I didn't stain the whole thing, just really what's going to show. A little chewed up. Anyway, this I didn't stain because that's where the old shelves are going to get on top of this. But now the fun part is I got to get this up into the bus and get it in place. Okay, so I got the new cabinet installed. The refrigerator is going to go down there, and this is still going to be the same stuff, although the bottom is probably going to end up being potatoes or whatever. I can always change this around. And I got my closet still in here. I'm going to see how things hang. I may have to move this up. And I need to get rid of some more stuff. So, yeah. Well, the refrigerator was supposed to come on Monday, and it came on Friday. So I'm going to unbox this. I'm not going to put you through the torture watching me unbox it. And let's cut to it. Already opened up. Well, here it is unboxed. And it is a Stakol, Stakol. It's made in China, sold by Costway. And to get an idea, this is the little Dometic that I'd been using, the one that messed up. This is smaller than the small compartment in this dual one. Now I can have this set up both as refrigerators. According to the instructions, this side can be equal or cooler than that side because the compressor and everything's underneath here. So this is going to be my freezer, this is going to be my refrigerator, and I don't see any problem with that. Well, I'm going to let this sit for 24 hours because when they ship it, of course, arrows on the box say this side down, and it gets delivered that side up. So, yeah, typical. So, let this sit, and we'll get this in. Cabinets are all in. We'll plug it in, and we'll go from there. Well, here's the unit in place. And drawer slides I got latch. I can pull it out, be able to get into it, slide it back in there, latch it for traveling, and it fit just how I expected it to. The controls are pretty straightforward. The right side we can set colder. The left side we can set warmer. So right now this is the temperature they're at. It's in Celsius, and because we're in America, I'm doing Fahrenheit, although I can convert. It's they give you a nice little thing here showing if you take this Celsius degrees times 1.8, add it to 32, and that will give you the temperature. But to make it even easier, 0.4 Fahrenheit is equal to -18 Celsius, and 50 degrees Fahrenheit is equal to 10 degrees Celsius. So I've got these set to around those numbers. I'm trying to get the refrigerator part to around 40 and the freezer part down to 0 before I add anything. I am going to put some water in and see how that goes, and now I'm just waiting for it to cool off. And there is a battery in here built in that will, if the power goes off for whatever reason, it will shut, or it'll remember, and when the power comes back the unit will turn on. It does have, I can change the compressor speed. I've got normal or max right now. I can put it down to minimal, which is economy. I've got the battery saver set so that if my batteries get down to I think it's set to 11.7 or something. It's high, medium, and low, and I got it set so it'll actually, my charge controller will turn it off before this shuts down. So anyway, that's it. I've got to now put everything back up here that I took out and get this bus neatened back up again. So that's it for this video, YouTube, and I will let you know in a couple of months how this is working out. See you later.